Hi friends, welcome to the Story Highway. Today's story is about hope, loss, and the courage to rebuild yourself, even when the world forgets your name. This is the story of Aaron Miles, the man who built his wings. In the heart of Chicago, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and the streets buzzed with life, lived Aaron Miles, a man most people barely noticed. Every morning before sunrise, he walked to Lincoln High School carrying a small lunchbox and a weary smile. He worked there as a janitor, the man who cleaned up after others, mopped the floors, fixed broken locks, and emptied trash bins. To the students, he was invisible. To the teachers, he was just another worker. But inside, Aaron carried a secret. He was once an aerospace engineer, a man who had once built machines that touched the sky. Years ago, Aaron worked for a small aircraft company that built sustainable designs for affordable aviation. He was brilliant, ambitious, and deeply in love with his wife, Clara, and their young son, Leo. They lived in a modest home filled with laughter, sketches, and models of airplanes. Aaron would often tell Leo, "Someday, you'll build something that will fly higher than your dreams. But life doesn't always reward hard work." The company Aaron worked for collapsed when investors pulled out. Overnight, he lost his job, his savings, and his pride. The rejection letters piled up, and slowly, so did the bills. Clara, tired of struggling and watching Aaron sink into silence, left one evening, taking Leo with her. That night, Aaron sat alone in the dark, staring at his engineering blueprints, feeling like the world had clipped his wings. Months passed when he finally found another job. It wasn't as an engineer. It was as a janitor at a school that couldn't afford one. The man who once designed aircrafts was now cleaning classrooms. Yet every morning, he smiled and greeted the teachers, not because he was happy, but because he refused to give up. Years rolled by, and one winter morning, Aaron overheard a group of high school students arguing in the science lab. Their robotics project wasn't working, a drone that refused to lift off. They had spent weeks on it, and the frustration was boiling over. Aaron, who was mopping the floor nearby, quietly approached them. "Mind if I take a look?" he asked gently. They laughed. "What would a janitor know about this?" one of them said. Aaron didn't respond. He just smiled and picked up the broken part. His hands, though rough and aged, moved with precision and purpose. Within minutes, he adjusted the rotor, rewired a small circuit, and calibrated the sensors. When the drone took flight, hovering steadily in the air, the kids stood frozen, jaws open. "How did you?" one whispered. Aaron smiled. "Just an old habit." The next day, those same students came looking for him, eager to learn more. Word spread fast across the school. The janitor was a genius. Teachers began asking him for help with the science club, and soon Aaron was spending his evenings teaching kids how to build small machines, drones, and solar-powered models. For the first time in years, he felt alive again. But something deeper began to change too. One afternoon, while walking home through the snow, Aaron saw a small boy trying to fly a paper airplane that kept falling. The boy reminded him of Leo. He stood there, watching, until the child's mother called him home. That night, Aaron couldn't sleep. He opened his old storage box. Inside were sketches, a model airplane, and a picture of Leo when he was 6. And tears welled up. He whispered, "If you're out there, son, I hope you're still dreaming." The school's science club decided to enter the National Young Innovators Competition, a contest for student engineers. They begged Aaron to guide them. Hesitant at first, he finally agreed, pouring every ounce of knowledge he had into them. Weeks turned into months, evenings into nights filled with late brainstorming, burnt coffee, and laughter. He wasn't just teaching them about machines. He was teaching them about failure, patience, and hope. When the day of the national competition came, the team presented their model, a lightweight solar-powered aircraft named Aurora. The design was inspired by one of Aaron's forgotten blueprints. When they announced the winners, the hall erupted. Lincoln High had won first place. The kids cheered, teachers wept, and Aaron stood silently, and tears were rolling down his face. He looked up at the ceiling lights that resembled stars and whispered, "Oh, we did it." Among the crowd, One man just stood at the back, and a tall young adult with familiar eyes. It was Leo. He had heard about his father's story through a news article titled, "The Janitor Who Built Dreams." After years of anger and misunderstanding, Leo came to see the man he had once been ashamed of. When everyone left, he walked up to Aaron. The two just stood there for a moment, father and son, staring at each other through tears. "Dad," Leo whispered, "I think it's time you build your wings again." Aaron hugged him tightly, trembling. For the first time in years, he wasn't alone. In the months that followed, Aaron and Leo rebuilt their bond, working together to create something new, a community workshop for underprivileged youth. They named it Second Flight. Every weekend, kids from all around Chicago would gather there to learn how to build and dream. Aaron taught them how to create drones, wind-powered models, and small engines. But more importantly, he taught them never to quit. Leo handled the finances and outreach, proudly telling everyone, "My father is proof that it's never too late to rise." Years later, when Aaron passed away peacefully in his sleep, the workshop continued under Leo's leadership. On the wall of the building, a plaque read, "Dedicated to Aaron Miles, the man who built his wings." Every year, students would gather at the workshop and fly hundreds of small paper airplanes into the sky, a tribute to the janitor who once touched the heavens with his heart. And as they soared, you could almost hear Aaron's words in the wind. "Sometimes, life breaks your wings, only to teach you how to build stronger ones." This was The Man Who Built His Wings, a story of redemption, resilience, and the power of belief. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to The Story Highway, where every story is a journey through life, love, and the strength of the human spirit.